My name is Teresa Schreiber Werth, and I want to tell you a little bit about myself, about my new book, and about my experience with Pine Tree Press. I've been a writer my whole life. I retired after a 35-year career in communications and public relations. I've also written several chapbooks of poetry, a book about my experience with stage 3 triple-negative breast cancer, and an anthology about the journey that we all shared during the COVID pandemic. Since the pandemic, I took a break from writing and began creating and exhibiting mixed media three-dimensional art made from common dried materials that I collect in nature, which has been very exciting and rewarding. But in between making art and writing freelance feature stories, I decided to finally publish a little book that I wrote 13 years ago when our grandson and I went to a beach in a state park on a beautiful Saturday to learn how to stack stones. That day and that experience changed my life. In the passing years, our 3 grandkids and their parents have all become skilled stone stackers. We've stacked stones in many beautiful and memorable places. I've taught women how to stack rocks at a church retreat. I taught children all about rock stacking at a community outdoor celebration. And I've shared my obsession with any adult or child willing to listen and give it a try. And so the first step in bringing this special little book to life was finding a publisher. I did some research, and I knew what I had learned from my past publishing experiences. That's when I decided to contact Pine Tree Press. From my first interaction with Ronnie, one of the project managers, I felt as if this was going to be an excellent fit for me. He explained the process, the costs, the options, the timeline, and how Pine Tree Press would help me meet my objectives. I had certain goals and ideas that were firmly established in my mind, but I also knew there were many aspects of this project, especially technical aspects, when I would need to look to the project manager and design team for help. That's when Haroon became my project manager, and the publication process really took off. I provided almost 200 original photos to be considered to illustrate the poem that begins the book. Some of those pictures would also make up the unique gallery at the end of the book. Through discussions with Haroon and his communication with the design team, we decided to add a stone stacking journal at the end of the book, in addition to chapters about terms used in stone stacking, the code of conduct for stone stacking, and other books about rocks, and a list of other great rock stackers. Together, Haroon, Luke, Jill, and Ruma shared ideas and options to create the best possible layout. Along the way, Ibad, Sean, and Edward advised me on font selection, picture choices, and layout designs. My input was always sought and considered, and I always had the final say. I communicated my feedback to Haroon, and he carried it to the design team, and they were very patient because I made many changes. My book had no title when we started. Thanks to suggestions from someone on the design team, I found the perfect title, then a subtitle that inspired me to add a stanza to the poem, and suddenly it felt as if the pieces all came together. At each step of the process, there were options to consider based on my vision, preferences, needs, and budget. There was never any pressure. My questions were always answered, and when I asked for suggestions, the team responded in a timely manner. The finished product speaks for itself. Where the Quiet Rocks Wait, A Guide to Stone Stacking, is visually a beautiful book. Thanks to my project manager Haroon and the Pine Tree Press design team, my book is part poem, part picture book, part reference material, and part journal, appealing to both kids and adults. One reader described it as a gentle, soothing read that becomes an invitation for peace, transporting readers to a quiet, sunny spot by the water, hands in the sand, feeling the texture of rocks. It doesn't just describe the act of rock balancing, it invites the reader into the experience. It feels like a friend sharing their quiet joy. In every respect, my publishing experience with Pine Tree Press exceeded my expectations, so that my book can now be enjoyed by readers everywhere.